Hello, student. Today, let us start with a new chapter that is business environment. Okay, so before we go in details, let me tell you what does business environment means. Okay, business environment means it refers to the surrounding in which business exists. Okay, so like for example, a person, shop, competitors, customers, governments. Likewise, for example, just like supposing like if you are living in a society, if you are living in a society where you are surrounded by the neighbors, so they are known as the environment. So what kind of in what kind of environment you live, so that is the business, and that is known as the environment. Likewise, for example, let's say if you live in a society where there are different kinds of neighbors with different personalities, with different attitudes. You might come across a neighbor who is very angry, who shouts all the time, who's every time uh, in a aggressive mood. Or you may come across a neighbors who are very friendly, very close, and there are some who don't talk much, and who are those who have a reserved kind of a nature. So you come across many kinds of behavior in them, you see many kinds of attitudes in them, so that is known as the environment. Okay, so in business also, supposing if you are running a ब्युटी पार्लर, सो ब्युटी पार्लर तिम्रो छ तर उसको सराउन्डिङमा पनि कतिवटा दोकानहरू हुन्छ, मान्छे हुन्छ, कम्पिटिटर्स हुन्छ, अरू दोकानहरू हुन्छ. सो द्याट इज नोन एज द environment. Okay, so I hope you all understood what does a business environment means. So let us go in details the meaning of business environment. Okay, business environment refers to the forces, factors, individuals, and institutions which are not under the control of business enterprises, but this may affect its performance. Okay, this means, like for example, let's say if you are living in a society where there is a man who is always aggressive, तिमी गएर उसलाई त चुप पार्न सक्दैन नि त, you cannot stop him. So that means it is not under the control. And so even if they are not under the control, but still they may affect its performance, because likewise, if there is a person who throws all the trashes in front of your house, and likewise, supposing तिम्रो बिहान मुड राम्रो छ अरे घरबाट बाहिर निस्किँदाखेरि के हुन्छ, त्यो मैला देखेछ भने अटोमेटिकली the mood changes. So it your good mood becomes bad, and also it affects the performance. So you कतिवटा कुरामा we cannot control, but sometimes indirectly they also affect us. Okay, so same thing in the business also. And another one is, in simple words, the business environment is the surrounding in which the business exists. That too I have already discussed in the first line. And thus the economic, social, political, technological, legal, and other forces which operates outside the business enterprises are also a part of business environment. Likewise, other than the forces, factors, individuals, and institutions, there are other forces like socials, economic, political, technological, legal, and other forces. Likewise, supposing if they say that in India we should not be opening a beauty parlor because it is going against our culture, so त्यसमा पनि धेरै ups and downs हुन्छ. And another one is economically, and the politically also. Likewise, after every 5 years, the political leaders changes, they bring new policies, they bring new rules and regulations, and also त्यसमा पनि धेरै changes हुन्छ. So it also directly and indirectly affects the business also. Likewise, we cannot guarantee that every country has the same political issues. Likewise, there are some states where they have a lenient political rules and regulations, and you can freely open your business without any hesitations. And there are some places where they are strict towards all those rules and regulations, so in that area it is kind of difficult for you to start a business. So that is why the environment, जस्तो इन्भाइरोमेन्ट छ त्यसरी नै हामीले काम गर्नुपर्छ. सो द्याट इज वाइ सबै ठाउँमा इफ यु see it, everything is not evenly maintained. So everybody has their own ways and own rules and regulations and have their own environment in which they have to survive. Okay, and the next one is the features of business environment. And the first one is totality of external forces, second is specific and general forces, third is interrelatedness, fourth one is the dynamic nature, fifth one is uncertainty, sixth is complexity, and the seventh one is relativity. So let me tell you in details what does totality of external forces means. Like, business environment is the sum total of all the things external to business firms, and as such is aggregative in nature. Likewise, I have already given the examples. Janira, see, okay, a beauty parlor is there. Beauty parlor ko pani surroundings ma कतिवटा उयो हुन्छ, business हुन्छ. The external business firm is other than the beauty parlor, there are other firms as well, and that is known as the total sum of all the external business, okay, which add up. So in beauty parlor there are many other businesses also. And the second one is the specific and general forces. Specific and general forces means business environment includes both specific and general forces. Specific means which affects the individuals. General means which affects an overall of the business. Likewise, let me tell you, specific forces such as investors, customers, competitors and suppliers, which affects individuals, enterprises directly and immediately in their day-to-day working. Likewise, see, okay, for example of specific forces, I have already made a example here. So supposing if this is a beauty parlor, and this beauty parlor ma चाहिँ अलिकति standard beauty parlor बनाएको अरे. They have made a standard beauty parlor where 5 people invest in this beauty parlors. Okay, so 5 जनाले के गरेको छ, उलाई इन्भेस्ट गरेको छ. So due to the lockdown, and हाम्रो यहाँ लकडाउन भएको थियो, they faced a lot of problems, and what they did is यो 4 जनाले जति पनि शेयर हालेको थियो, they took everything back. Okay, so एकजनाले मात्रै के गर्नु पर्यो, बेयर गर्नु पर्यो. सो दिस शोज द्याट इन्डिभिजुअली उसले के गर्दैछ, इट्स अफेक्टिङ द बिजनेस. सो यो बाइक अरू बिजनेस त अफेक्ट भएको छैन नि त, अरू ब्युटी पार्लर भएको छैन नि त, त उसको इन्डिभिजुअल बिजनेस मात्रै एफेक्ट हुँदैछ. सो द्याट इज स्पेसिफिक फोर्सेस. Okay, and the other one is the general forces. General forces means such as social, political, legal and technological conditions have impact on all the business enterprises and thus may affect an individualism firm only indirectly. So यसमा चाहिँ generals मा के हुन्छ, overall business affect हुँदैछ. Like overall business means, likewise I gave an example earlier, likewise if they are opening a business, likewise beauty parlor बनायो, and there are some people who goes against that, saying that it is going against our culture. So त्यसो हुँदाखेरि against the culture, beauty parlor को against, they are going against the Indian culture भने नि एउटा beauty parlor मात्रै affect हुँदैन नि त. The remaining beauty parlors which are there in the other places or in the other area or the other parts of the country, they are also getting affected. So that is known as the general forces. Okay, and the other one is interrelatedness. Means there is a more chances of flourishing your business, because these days people have become very much health conscious kind of a person. So There are examples are already given here. Increased life expectancy of people and increased awareness for healthcare have increased the demand for many health products and services like diet coke, fat free cooking oil, and health resorts. New health products and services have in turn changed people's lifestyle. Likewise, in earlier days, people they used to eat whatever they found. So right now they have become very conscious, and they want to live a more longer life. So what they have done is they have become very conscious, health conscious, and then instead of drinking coke, they go for a diet coke, and then and they go for a fat free cooking oil. Means they have become very much conscious towards their health. If a business, if they take this as an advantage and starts producing more of those fat free and health conscious products, then obviously there's more chances of flourishing the business environment. So we should know and study and do research what kind of food products or what kind of lifestyle the people are expecting it, so what they want the life to be. So accordingly, if you do the business according to the present environment, so there's more chances of flourishing the business. And the fourth one is the dynamic nature. Dynamic nature means changes. Business environment is dynamic in that it keeps on changing, because everybody knows that it keeps changing, because humans wants are never satisfied, whether in terms of technological improvement. Every year, every minutes, every seconds, there is a new technology getting launched in our world, and they are and the changes in the improvements, shifts in the consumer preferences, because they are never satisfied, they always want to try something new, or entry of new competitors in the market also brings a lot of changes in the business environment, and also the lifestyles. So because business are uncertain, people they change their lifestyles, they change their dress ups, so everything is uncertain, so everything changes. So that is why it is dynamic in nature. And the another one is uncertainty. Obviously we all know it very well that business are never certain, they are always uncertain, because we cannot predict the future, what is going to happen, especially when the environment changes are taking place too frequently. Means patapat back to back changes answer. So that is why we cannot guarantee whether we'll earn a good profit or we'll be facing losses. So what kind of products actually the customers need and want. So that is why, likewise, environment changes are taking place too frequently, as in a case of information technology or fashion industries, because fashion also brings a lot of uncertainty in the business field. And the other one is complexity. Complexity means there are numerous factors which are interrelated and dynamic conditions or forces which arise from different sources. Likewise, अगाडि हामीले डिस्कस गरेको थियो जस्तो कि पोलिटिकली इश्यूज, द लिगल, द सोशल, हामीले अगाडि डिस्कस गरिसकेको थियो. Likewise, I have discussed you all here the economic, social, political, legal and other forces which operates outside the business enterprise are part of business environment. जस्तो कि लाइक कतिवटा चेन्जेस, पोलिटिकली चेन्जेस हुनसक्छ, सोसियली चेन्जेस हुनसक्छ, पिपल दे आर सम पिपल उनीहरू सेन्टिमेन्ट्समा हर्ट हुन्छ. सो अल दिस कम्स अन्डर द कम्प्लेक्सिटी. एन्ड द अदर वान इज द रिलेटिभिटी. रिलेटिभिटी मिन्स लाइक business environment is a relative concept, since it differs from country to country. Different countries have different rules and regulations and different political conditions, and even the regions to regions. So political conditions in the USA, for instance, differ from those in China or Pakistan. Obviously, China, they have a different political conditions, their rules and regulations are completely different from Korea, Pakistan, China, India. So that is a relativity. So we cannot guarantee that every political issues have different way of conducting. And the other one is the Similarly, demand for saris may be fairly high in India, whereas it may be almost non-existent in France, because then, so that is the condition. So that is why business environment are relative in nature. Okay, so with this we have finished with the meaning of business environment and the features of business environment, and the importance of business environment we'll be doing in the next class. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and make sure that you'll do the homework in time.